Deanne is in the chat saying she wants to say something tonight. I'll say I can promote you to be able to speak when it's the appropriate time. Okay, during. Hey, Ann, how's it going?
Hey there. I remembered.
Yay! You're freezing up a little bit, but hopefully it'll be okay.
Yeah, but it's raining, so I didn't walk down there.
Yeah. Well, no, it's coming through, so hopefully it should be good. You can always type in the chat too if you freeze up, so we know that you're trying to say something. Because like right now you're frozen. Oh, there you are.
I don't know that I'm afraid it comes and goes. It comes and
Comes and
goes.
goes. Yeah, yeah.
I'm trying to get closer to the router, but that's not helping either.
Hey, Ed.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Nice. We can hear you and we can see you.
Oh, I'm better. Who's there? Is that Dan?
Yeah,
She didn't say anything.
she's having a little bit of internet.
I can't hear anything. Well, I can hear Ed, so I guess that's okay.
There we go.
Hey, Dwayne.
Hey, how are you?
Good. We are going to have one person that wants to talk under audience business,
Okay.
just so, okay.
How are you, Kathleen?
I can.
Fine, thank you. And you?
Awesome.
Can't quite get the lighting on this. There we go.
Is kid, do we know if Denise was going to make it tonight?
We hadn't heard anything different.
Should we give her a few minutes or go ahead and get it started?
It's 6 o'clock, so I mean we can wait a minute or two, but probably not very long, you know.
Exactly.
Jennifer's going to try to call her.
Perfect.
I heard from the background. There she is.
Hey,
Perfect.
you made it. Good.
All right. Well, Wednesday, July 21st, 2021, 6:01
Computer.
PM. Call us in order.
Am I here?
Yep.
Hello?
We can-
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Good. I'm here. Sorry, I just got in. It's been
Perfect.
a hectic day.
All right. The meeting's been called to order. We'll do roll call. Ann Wilkins,
Here.
Ed Hoover,
Here.
Kathleen Heft,
Here.
and Denise Newton. Say yes.
You're muted, Denise.
muted. There we go. Hi, I'm here.
Perfect.
Good.
All right. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
I moved.
I'm-
Well, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I moved to approve the agenda.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Nope. Okay. So now we can do the audience business. Correct, Jen? You said you had somebody?
Yes, we have Deanne Powell. Are you there, Deanne?
Sure. Hi there. Can everybody hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
Tonight you're going to be working on the Parks Master Plan, and I still want to emphasize how important it is that the Strauss Park one be separated out and not approved because it's far too modern. We owe it to posterity to keep the downtown district as old-fashioned looking as it can be. And this new plan is just far too modern looking. It will, well, I think it looks like a cemetery more than a park. And that's real apropos because it's going to kill our business if that is allowed to happen. We need to keep it old-fashioned and looking like how it looks in the Christmas market posters. Thanks a whole bunch, and please keep in mind, we live in a museum. It's important to the future that we keep it as, I can't call it pristine, but as close to 1800s as we can. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So then, Jen, we're done with the audience business, correct?
Correct.
All right, perfect. So now we will go on to new business, the Parks Master Plan, recommendation to the Board of Selectmen. Kathleen, I know you had mentioned a few changes. I think that we're looking at, correct, Kent?
I
Yeah,
would like to just, I'm sorry, I'll have some
Go ahead,
questions
Kathleen.
as well, but I think it's improved. I think there are a lot of things that I would be concerned about, but I think one of the questions is, and I didn't see it in there anywhere, but it may need as a part of the introduction to say that the plans that are given there, and this refers also to Deanne's comments, that they're conceptual, that they are there to show an idea of what has to go there, and they're there for the sake of cost estimating purposes, and not a sense that if we approve this, we're approving the actual design that's on that paper.
yes, that's
Is
the,
that correct? And can we just add that one sentence or two? And I don't think we need to hold things up, but there are a lot of particular things I would have issues with. But if we look at it as a document that you give to people when we're looking for funding for the various places, then I think, we can look past that and not get into the detail.
right. And that has been the purpose the entire time, is to provide and he stated several times during the process that any of the particular plans regarding the parks would have to have additional design to make it come to fruition. Well, most of the ideas, if it's just the little extension within Triangle Park, that you just got to be aware of the boundaries of the park. But he mentioned that several times. As far as this is a guideline for what is the development of the parks, and I don't know it by heart, so I'm not finding the exact sentence that says that. And we can certainly add that sentence at the beginning to say that specifically.
I would feel more comfortable if we could do that.
Sure.
Well,
What's the exact sentence you want, Kathleen? Could you say that one more
Oh, I can't tell you what the exact sentence is. I just think that if there's a comment in there that the drawings and the plans are conceptual
Okay.
and not literal, that they should be read from the idea of having showing the various elements that go into the parks.
Okay.
And that's the basis for the cost estimating.
Okay. I'm sorry, Ed, I cut you off right when
we said after we're through, then the other board has to go through the whole thing anyway and come up with their ideas as well. Probably will make them quite a bit different as what we're doing.
Yeah. Each project would have to have, specific authorization and specific funding set aside for it.
Yeah.
And at that time, they will be a little more detail done with it, and there will be additional decisions made. But, Kathleen's sentence is just ensures, hopefully, that people understand this is a process that produced a planning document, and it's a set of guidelines, and that it's conceptual.
Yeah.
And it has to be, obviously a little bit more work done to make it come to fruition. So.
Well, I think the board of selectmen is going to have a job anyway, big one.
Yeah.
What we do is fine as far as we've done, and we had Kathleen has made some thoughts her thoughts, and it's good,
Yeah.
I think we now go on and go to the selectmen, and it'd be we're done.
Well, that's good. Is there any other comments? I do have one additional thing that that we sent to you as part of this recommendation to the Board of Selectmen. But if there's any additional comments right off the bat from Denise or Dwayne or Ann. Okay.
I'm good. No, I'm good.
Too.
The town attorney pointed out that any master plan and it does state in the state statute that recreation and trails can be part of the town's comprehensive plan or the town's master plan. And so because of that, the Planning Commission, if you all were to approve or recommend the adoption of this plan or approve the adoption of this plan, there's a resolution for the Planning Commission itself that says that we reviewed it, and we hereby adopt this plan as part of the town's comprehensive plan. And, you know, we've been going through the comprehensive plan over the last year, and we've gone through different sections of it. This would just be added
Oh,
as another document to it. So, and this is resolution number 1, series 2021, a resolution adopting the town of Georgetown Parks Master Plan. So in the recommendation to the Board of Selectmen, you would also move to approve the resolution presented. And that's if you choose to. But that is one additional thing according to state statute that we will need to do. And so that's why we sent that to you a couple days ago. The town attorney provided a little bit of correction and provided this resolution that makes it kind of an official action of the Planning Commission. Is there any questions, concerns, comments, or complaints regarding the resolution?
No, we just want to add that to the motion if we decide to.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
I just want to make
If
sure
we
you
s-
guys understood that that's the reason for it.
Yeah.
So,
perfect.
fine.
and Dwayne, you did have a public hearing on 2 meetings ago in May. We weren't able to pick up this item last month because of the other item that was presented on the agenda. And because the changes that were requested weren't given to you in time for that meeting. But the document, Mark Wilcox completed the changes that were requested by Kathleen. He also added some additional names in there because we've gone into another year. He originally had it on it only the Board of Selectmen from 2020, but he added the Board of Selectmen for 2021. And then just trying to clean it up and make it what you guys requested. Is there any other specific questions, concerns, or comments?
No, Kathleen, does this cover everything that you had mentioned from last time? Because you had some
Well,
key.
It's hard to keep track of exactly all the things that were mentioned because some of them were done fairly broadly. I think my biggest concern was and still is the introduction, which I think can be amended to just clarify that the plans that are shown are not necessarily expected to be built as shown, or that they are conceptual and not
Additional work
definitive.
needs to be done to bring it to fruition.
So with that, do I say that I have no comments? Of course I have comments, but I think to get into the details of the kind of comments I have is probably not necessarily worth it. And I think as long as it's clear what the purpose of the plan is, then I think we can move ahead with it and not worry too much about specific things. Like whether or not I think it's appropriate, I appreciate what the kids suggested, but probably is not appropriate to the history of Georgetown to have a pirate ship at the lake. But but I don't want to get into that kind of detail because I think it can all be worked out at a later time when there is possible funding for specific things.
Well, and that's my question for you, Kent. With what we're passing on to the selectmen, down the road, have you seen it where it get, obviously what they've kind of thrown out there, is that kind of set in stone, or can that change down the road? Does that get do we go back and approve that, or does a different board approve that? Just like, what's the process of that, just, you know?
Well, I'll give you a couple examples, like, you know, a skate park has been discussed for, I've looked back in minutes, 15, 20 years in Georgetown, in Meadows Park. And this plan proposes that it be done on the basketball court and use some of the hillside there as, you know, part of the entry into the skate park. And then have an additional half court of basketball put on the end of it. When the actual skate park project would be decided upon and authorized and budgeted for, and whether a grant was available for it, some of those details regarding the actual skate park plan they definitely could change. I mean, because you end up working with a skate park specific company with it. So I can see that having specific, you know, this is a general idea.
Yeah.
And then the specifics, there could be additional things or changes that occur. With you mentioned the pirate ship down at the near the warming hut at the lake. You know, that could change depending on the manufacturer of the playground equipment, and it could be, but the idea of a playground and how, you know, because there are families that fish at the lake every weekend. You know, the idea to have something there that would be able to be occupied, you know, grab the attention of the younger ones that are with the family fishing. There could be changes to that. But then there's some things that may not be. The actual trail connections, the actual, you know, what is done with those, you know, the different trails in town, I don't see that changing that much. The actual parking at the lake, there's a plan in here, but then there may be things as it goes along with the project, and especially even after the project gets started, because there's things that happen when you start digging in dirt. You know, there's obstacles that you end up with, and you end up having to change the plan. So it may not be exactly what's stated in here, but the idea to have some sort of parking plan and then possibly a paid parking down at the lake so that people that use the lake actually contribute to the maintenance of that area because it's getting used so much. That's what's important about this, you know, set of guidelines that tells that's a project that could be pursued. And there may be ones, I've seen it in other master plans, that once you get down the road, there's a different set of folks involved and they don't think that is as good an idea, or they may change it slightly. You know, where the restroom goes in City Park. I can perceive that there will be additional discussion and that could change the location of that restroom. So there's all of those sorts of things, and Kathleen understands that too, you know, and Ed and you guys and you know, all of you understand that as you try to put these things into actual projects that actually happen, there's going to be details that will necessitate some additional either design or implementation, or, you know, actually get to the end where it's actually done.
Money.
So
Money.
I would, I'm sorry, Ed, go ahead.
No, I meant everything that could be looked at in the future is all dedicated on the money that can be made up for it. So even though we're looking at all the pieces here for all the different areas get done, you're probably 30 years of getting anything, this money to do it. But everything that you're doing is a chance to this, to discuss it and figure it's the right thing or the wrong thing. So the plan, to me, is something for the future to work at and revise. So everything that we've done to help with the plan, and we'll turn it over now to the board, a selectman, then they've got a hell of a lot to work with, a lot. So
Yeah.
everything we're doing at this point is nice. And it can change a lot. So here, you've got the planned. So I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
When I think the big picture is, this is a big picture, not so much set on exactly what's going in each space.
That's right.
But, and I think it would be impossible to try to have everything nailed down exact, because all that can change.
Okay.
But the idea of what we're, wanting to approve or pass on is a good start. And then, of course, past that, it starts with funding. If you can't, if monstrous, gigantic pirate ship or something, or if you can't get full funding for that, then it gets downsized to a certain extent. So I think all that can change. And I think just as long as everybody understands that, and more maybe the people outside of the meeting that listen, and that we're just trying to make a motion to at least get stuff started. Would that be right to say, Kent?
I would think so. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just, the other thing that it really helps with is having a plan like this also helps in the application for certain grants. Because it
Definitely.
says, just like we recently completed the Main Street Revitalization Grant to get the bathrooms for Strauss Park, actually in the parking lot there, behind Nisel and Anderson store. We got some additional funding for that, but having a master plan or these planning guidelines set in place shows a lot of grant committees that you've done some work with the community to get their input.
Due diligence.
Yeah, thank you, Ann, for those words.
Good.
Done some of the groundwork, so it isn't just a one person's idea going off the handle.
Yep.
So then, like Kathleen, with this, then, I mean, we're not adding any conditions then?
Well, I don't know. I mean, we talked about getting an extra sentence or two into the introduction, but I don't know that that needs to be an exception, or I mean, that needs to be put into this. Unless, Kent, you believe that we need to state it right now.
I think actually it would be good for you to state with the addition of the one sentence,
Okay.
as stated earlier in the meeting, so you don't have to state whatever's.
Oh, thank you.
Because a lot of times the way the person says it the third time is different from what they said the first time. So,
Okay.
but to state that, I think that would be appropriate.
Well, I would like to move to approve the Planning Commission Resolution Number 1, Series 2021, adopting the Town of Georgetown Parks Master Plan as a part of the town's comprehensive plan, and recommend approval of the Parks Master Plan to the Board of Selectmen with the following condition: that included in the introduction is a sentence that clarifies that the designs that are provided are conceptual and not necessarily literal.
And I'll second it. All in favor, say aye.
I,
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed.
Okay. Excuse me, I was writing, was it Dwayne or Ed that seconded?
I second it, Dwayne.
Okay, thanks, Dwayne.
Right. Let's see here. All right, motion to approve the meeting minutes from June 16th, 2021.
I move approval of the meeting minutes, June 16th, 2021.
And I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
I,
And I,
Any opposed? Oh, sorry, Ed. Any opposed?
I'm like,
And I could hear you all say aye, but it's just making sure. All right, I don't think we have nothing else, do we, Kent, that I'm missing?
No, sir.
All right, this meeting's adjourned. You guys all have a great evening.
You too.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye.
see you later.
Let's see if I could get out of this mess. I think I did.